What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Thoughtful Banter podcast. I am your host, Matthew, with my co-host here, Hussein.
Yes, sir.
Apologies for only having one camera set up. I thought I had a camera charging over last night. Apparently, my PC turned off after 30 minutes, so we have insufficient charge on one camera. But good news, we have 802 subscribers, and that was even playing. I just have YouTube pulled up. Yeah. Oh, I'm your host. Did you already say yes, sir?
No.
I'm your host, Matty,
We did.
with my co-host, Hussein.
Yes, sir.
Another one. With my co-host, Hussein.
Yes, sir.
Another one.
That's good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, guys, I hope you're doing well. How you been, Hussein? How you been?
Bro? I've been great.
I think we're struggling with this one, aren't we? We're still getting used to 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
I think this is like only our second week doing it, so, but last week was terrible. You guys might not even have see that episode ever. Hussein was appalled by it, but don't worry.
No. To be clear, you will not see that episode.
You're dead serious, huh?
Yes, bro. That was such a garbage episode. That was so garbage.
Hey, man, sometimes you win some, you lose some. Who would you winked at? So just there.
Yeah.
Are they taking a picture of us?
Huh?
Is someone taking a picture of us?
No,
I just saw a flash.
No, I think there's a photographer
I'm like,
behind you.
Are we celebrities then?
Yeah, that's how you saw it again, right?
Yeah.
It's a photographer behind you. Whatever.
Is the white guy
event.
staring at us at the table or the
Asian,
students?
The students.
Yeah. It's crazy.
These high schoolers are so funny. Anyways.
Moment of like seriousness here on the Thoughtful Banter podcast right now. A lot of stuff happening right now in Palestine, all on the news. I kind of feel like we're just caught in this cycle of, being aware of the terrible atrocities that are being committed in Palestine and against the people of Palestine. And like, it's just in the forefront of our minds. And it's kind of like the same thing over and over again. It's like you just see like, for instance, the Palestinians, like on the Palestinian side, like they put up resistance against Israel, and Israel retaliates back, killing like a lot more Palestinians and just making it hell for everyone there. And like we see like these clips on Instagram, not on the news because the mainstream media won't show anything about the Palestinians. The most the mainstream media will ever say on damn near every single news network is, there's conflict between these 2 neighboring countries, and God help us all. I hope they learn to resolve their issues. And it's sorry. Kind of I have something like ran in front of me. I'm kind of at a loss for words. Did you want to say something before I kind of get into this, or?
I don't know how deep you want to get into this. Basically we had recorded our episode that we didn't just release it because we're ahead of schedule, but we recorded an episode and then we dropped the episode that we had recorded previously. And it was kind of interesting because right after we dropped it is kind of when all this stuff started popping off. And I'm sure potentially for some people who are like fans of the channel or follow us on Instagram, they were kind of like maybe jarred by how closely together these 2 things were and how we were like, I guess, not making light or like, I don't think, because we didn't even talk about it in that video, but it's just that how can you have such a video not related and not bring up this topic come out after this kind of thing happened. So just to clarify, that was not our intention at all. Also on that point, I don't know how deep Matty's going to get into it, but honestly, if anyone follows my personal account or even, Matty's posted some things on the Thoughtful Banter Instagram story. Honestly, I'm just waiting for the dust to settle a little bit more, especially when these things happen. So whenever they happen, people's emotions get high, reasonably so. And you hear a lot of things from both sides in terms of media. You hear conflicting stories. You hear this not true, that's not true. And really until like you give it a week or 2 after the whole event has finalized, then you kind of start to see what's actually true versus what's actually, fabrication or maybe not the entire truth. So that's kind of my desire with this episode as far as this conversation is concerned. I want everyone that watches us to know that we're looking at it, obviously, and we care about it, and our hearts are with the people of Palestine. At the same time, I'd rather not rush headlong into any statements that my future self might regret.
I want to say a couple things, and I just want to say stuff because I feel like I don't think, like, I don't matter, like, we don't matter, you know, like, this isn't, but it just feels like we have a necessity just for the sake of ourselves to say something, because it's like literally the least we can do, you know, while these other people are dealing with real world consequences and living through this terror. I'm just sitting comfortably at home scrolling through it on my feed. I just have just 1 or 2 points I want to say about it. It's very numbing to constantly see this stuff happen on the media, because like I said before, there's just a cycle where we are told, it feels like we're being gaslit by all the media, all public media, because every single, and I just been going through news headlines from different sources, like NBC, all like, you know, Fox, CBS, whatever they are, and you just see like the same kind of narrative that's like so void of truth, and providing this narrative that's so unquestioned of like the state of what's happening. And like, if anyone just even asks a couple of simple questions, I'm talking about like normal people don't really know about this issue that much, and I don't expect them to, because it's a matter of, and I'm a normal person, but like people who aren't connected to this issue, they don't, like an average American doesn't know, because why would they, right? Like, I don't know specific information about Somalia. It's not like on my brain. So just like a couple things I just want to share. It's like, I don't know, like hopefully like someone who's not super aware of the issue, and I have some links below this episode where you can like actually learn about what's happening. But just like a couple points I want to share with people, just make them think about it. One, Israel is a brand new country. It was established like in the year 1948. This joint brand new. So this idea that Israel is just this country that's like fighting only terrorists is just super unauthentic. This is colonization. They're colonizing a land and a people, the indigenous people of a land. And it's what's happening right now is no different than what has happened and is still happening to the Native Americans of this land, or like any place that's been colonized. And there's no such thing as peaceful colonization. And like, so like, those are just two facts I want to say. Like, colonization is just so violent, and colonization requires dehumanization of other people.
Give me a second.
Are people? Was someone staring?
They're asking what's our podcast called.
Put up a note.
Yeah.
We got fans. That's crazy.
Show this.
That's funny. As we're recording this, I swear we're in the library right now. If you guys don't know,
Yeah, this is our new headquarters.
New headquarters until we start making bread. But yeah, like, sorry, I know this part's boring, but I just got to get through it. Yeah, it's like this is colonization, and like colonization, like I don't know, like how in what world we're looking at colonizers as just like this good neutral force. Colonization is just violent, and it's wrong. And the Israeli state is an apartheid state, and apartheid in English means racist.
Isn't apartheid English?
I mean, like, I'm saying, like, in simple terms.
I see.
Yeah, like, it
like
just,
in plain English.
Yeah, like, you can look up the definition of apartheid. I'm like, this is just explaining racism. It's a, like, so there's so much more nuance to get into this, like Hussein said. But yeah, just like it's just so upsetting. Like, people don't even talk about the history of what's happening, or like any other side of the story except this one side, and I just think it's super disingenuous. It's not honest, and it's funny enough. I do think most people are pro-Palestine, like in terms of people in the world. Like even if I look at any social media posts online, like average posts, I'm seeing just people support Palestine in the comments. Like even Elon Musk tweeting about like, oh, prayers for Israel. I just see comments of mad Palestinians that free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine. So people really like it when we talk about money and finances. So we're going to keep doing it. There's a couple clips were released and people seem pretty upset. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. So I'm not really upset at people being upset, but I just thought it's interesting. And of course, these clips are just clips. They don't have the full context of the video. But the good thing is YouTube has a new feature now where on a short, you can reference an actual video.
Yeah.
Which is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually boosting the views of the original video.
I think so too.
I like it a lot. It's a great feature. Shout out to YouTube actually doing a smart feature for once. It's like original. Yeah, I got one comment here saying, asking your wife to work is beta. You mad? And then someone responded to that. That's what I thought. Like, sorry, bro, wants an income for the family. The guy's like, right? It's 2023. He didn't say it's he cursed, but hardly anyone can afford a family or a single income. It's called logic. And like, I understand where he's coming from. Mm-hmm. We have extra context that we're coming from like a religious background. Like you cannot command your wife to work. But she
again,
works.
If these are like two people, if this was a couple who were both like bought into liberalism and we're not religious at all, this would be a different conversation.
Yeah. Even two couples who aren't bought into liberalism, but the wife wants to work. All right, work. That's dope. And she wants to give her money to the family. Hey.
But I'm more talking about like if like say like there's a couple that they're both not religious and they're both I guess liberals, and they go in on a house agreeing that they're going to split all the costs or whatever, and then the wife stops working because she doesn't want to anymore, then that's like you breached our contract.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like a little bit different. Like that situation is a little bit different. But obviously we're coming from the religious background, so that makes our take different. And gives a context to our take that this person clearly didn't understand, which whatever. It's short form content, so I can't even be that mad.
I love it.
Additionally, like for even more context, like even if you threw that out, I guess you can't really throw that out, but even more additional context is that we were talking about, in that clip specific, like leading up to that clip, we were talking about how we thought the husband wasn't being honest with the wife about his and therefore the family's finances. So she thought they were in a place that was good. And we were like, well, maybe he has a lot of debt, or maybe he's not making as much money as she thinks that he's making. So there's also that context, which is like the reason why she's not working is because of this. Perhaps if she did know, there would be a different choice being made. Not to say that's a better choice, but anyways.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. A couple people here, like one point here, this guy just went off on a feminist spiel. He's like, feminism double taxes. Feminism. He's like, feminism double taxes and made the working classes go without an emotionally available mother or father. The government wants your stuff, I'm sure. Wants your stuff and will make us fight each other while they pickpocket us. You're welcome. Okay, bro.
That was nonsense. I don't even know what that means.
And yeah, that was like, what? You're so off the mark.
Also, he said the government wants us. What did he say about
wants your stuff and wants us to fight each other?
No, what did he say before that about absent? Or
they want to make us go without emotionally available mothers or fathers.
I guess they is the government, but they want to make us go without emotionally available mothers and fathers. So if it's just an emotionally available father, you're good.
Yeah. I mean, to an extent,
you're good. But if it's emotionally unavailable mother, you're not good. I don't know. It seems goofy.
Yeah.
Because he was saying feminism, and feminism basically is what has brought a lot of women into the workplace. Yeah. And then he talks about emotional unavailability.
Yeah, people who come from comments like that are usually almost fell into a fallacy myself, but usually come from a fallacy of like things used to be better. oh, back in the day with traditional values. And it's like, I can't find a time in history that's better than the current one, bro. No matter how you try to play it, like, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I mean, I think there's some, like, usually what they're lamenting is, like, cultural things, right?
Yeah, and then, like, racism in the culture.
so-
It's like, yeah, back in the day, women used to know their place, and, man, you didn't see black sharing water fountains with us. Like, damn, I missed that time. It's
true.
always, like, dude, shut up. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, great culture practices. And it's like, bro, if we had to, and I'm not saying this is the case, but let's say things were men were more masculine back then. If we had to lose whatever you call masculinity to have less lynchings and racism, I'm gonna take it. Like, I'm sure there is something there. Like,
that's a good point.
Less testosterone.
That's a good point.
Jesus, it's like, shut up, bro.
That is a good point. But I do think, even in all, like, swimming and all, and I think I agree with you. Like, if this is what it took to get rid of those things, then fine. But at the same time, there was like religiosity was much higher back in the day. People living in family units, much higher. Grandparents being a part of grandchildren's lives, like, all of that stuff was much higher. Right now, it's basically something that the upper class enjoys, like lifestyles the upper class enjoys, but no one else really does, and reaps the benefits of, and no one else really does. But I think there is something to that cultural piece. Again, a lot of the times is like a dog whistle. I will agree with you. And again, if I had to give up some of those things to get where we are now, I'd give it up again.
I give it all up.
I give it up again. I understand your point. I understand that. I'm just saying, like, there is also something there as well. Like, it wasn't just racism and stuff that was there.
Mm-hmm.
There were, like, traditions, family structures,
Like picnics.
traditions and family.
Get the whole family together.
That were probably better now than they were. They're probably better then than they were now. Also, respect for things, like respect for cultures in general.
Elders.
Yeah.
Whites. Yeah. Nowadays, a white man can't get no respect. No respect at all.
That's crazy.
I see your point,
You
though.
said elders, whites. That was good.
No, I see. Thank you. I try. I see your point. I see your point. And we had a couple of other comments basically alluding like, hey, man, like 100K isn't the average home income. So I just thought, like, we'll pull up a couple of resources. I thought it'd be some good content. I have here uscareerinstitute.edu and just some. This is basically a list of jobs that all pay over $50,000 a year that don't require a college degree, to my knowledge. And like the first job here is crazy high. Hussein, can you guess, if you're not looking at the link, can you guess what the first job on here is?
Well, the first job?
Sorry, the highest paying job here. Highest paying job is $121,000 a year. No degree needed.
For what?
You can't guess?
Like software engineer or something?
Commercial pilot.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that. I never would have guessed that.
Second
one.
one.
Because technically you don't need a degree for to be a software engineer.
That's true. I think this is like looking like traditional roles. Because software engineer, like there's really no roof on it. Like these guys are just making like, some of the guys just making millions of dollars.
I mean, some places need you to have that. You don't need, but like want you to have that to get in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're gonna be at some of these top places, like you have to have a bachelor's to get in the door. And they don't like people who take like boot camps and stuff. But IT is really cool in that a lot of these places really don't care as well, and you can kind of work your way through like the levels of companies to get to higher places. Yeah. So that's why I guess software.
And even some of these bigger companies are changing their rules about that. Like I've heard Google is officially like really trying to like actually take in more people who don't have degrees. Second job on this list, I'm not going to read them all. It's like the second one is earning $94,000 a year. Transportation and storage distribution manager. Like literally police officer, $91,000 a year. God, I mean that's a lot of money. Power plant operator, $85,000. Elevator, escalator installer and repairer, $84,000.
No, those union like jobs are pretty. Like those plumber, elevator, foremen,
anyone who has a union,
electricians, yeah.
USPS or USPS or UPS delivery. Like if you're working delivery, bro. Basically, if your job matters, and I know that sounds terrible, and that's not necessarily true. Like there's a lot of jobs that like if someone who had it died, society wouldn't actually feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like these traders on Wall Street who make more money than all of us, if one of them just died, or if like half of them just died, I mean, I don't.
They call them the fire jobs. They're like the jobs that are people who are just middlemen, and my job is included in that, which is like real estate.
Damn.
It was like finance. Hold on, let me find the whole acronym.
I might be wrong to say that we won't feel anything. That might just be my lack of understanding of like how everything's put together. But what I mean by that is kind of like if you have no firemen and your home's on fire, there's going to be serious repercussions. If you have no one in Wall Street calling up the rich dude, teaching him how to hide his money and secure more wealth for himself, like I am not feeling that. Maybe I'm feeling the economy actually, and like who knows.
Yeah, I can't find the acronym, but it's basically like finance blank real estate, which is like these people who get paid large sums of money sometimes, a lot of the times, to be middlemen, glorified middlemen.
Like to do nothing. That's what haters say, right? Yeah.
Like glorified middlemen. And on the one hand, it's like, yeah, you are a middleman. I'm one of these people myself, so I think I have to say something in their defense. On the other hand, I understand why that kind of work is contracted out, because otherwise you yourself are doing a lot of research, looking into things. It's not that you can't learn it. It's very like simple, straightforward, easy to learn for the most part. It's just there's also an opportunity cost in learning that stuff. So, but again, to your point, I agree. Like if all of the real estate agents fell off the face of the earth, there'd probably be, that's not to say there wouldn't be economic shockwaves, but pretty much everything would go back to functioning the way it should.
I'm listening.
Especially because even like a lot of savvy like investors and stuff who've been doing it for a long time basically know how to do everything that their agent's doing. Mm-hmm. They just don't feel like it. You're like, my time is better spent somewhere else.
Yeah. No, like that makes sense. And so these comments, maybe it's probably my sense of privilege, because I know I am privileged, but people are saying we had like a comment saying, bro, most people don't make $40,000 a year.
No.
And I'm like,
don't misunderstand. The average person's understanding of the economic reality of people is so bad.
Because I'm pretty sure. Hold on,
it's so bad.
Can we do this? Can you? Hold on. Let me put my mic down.
Terrible.
Carry the fort while I'm googling this.
It like if you ask someone about inflation, for example, they will give you the worst answers. And to everyone who's watching this now, it's going down, and it's been going down for a while. Egg prices are like the thing everyone was talking about. Oh, prices are this expensive, prices are that expensive. Prices are basically back to the same price that they were before.
Gas is back for sure. I'm loving that.
And so, like, there's all, like, if you ask the average person on the street what their opinion is of the economy, so many of them are going to tell you that the economy is about to collapse, all this, all that, all that, all this. And that is so far from the truth. We still have the tightest labor market we've had in years, like almost like in the history of this country. There are more job openings and positions available than people applying to them every day. Layoffs are at like all-time lows per month, and wages are increasing. And people are like, well, my childcare costs $300 a week, $400 a week. Mm-hmm. That means that the economy is not doing well. And it's like, no, it's because the economy is doing well. That $400 a week is labor. People are getting paid.
Getting their bag up, and they're charging you, charging you extra, buddy. Sorry. So, I was listening to what you're saying, but like I was just doing like a quick Google search, because basically the point I'm trying to make is we had some comments saying 40,000 is like people aren't earning more than that, and to me, that just doesn't sound accurate. Like, if you can't earn more than 40,000 a year, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you don't need to have a degree to earn more money than that. Now, there might be other limitations, like if you're on disabilities or you have some kind of cognitive disorder where it's like you can't learn higher paying skills to get a higher paying job. But like I'm looking right here, it says the median household income was $67,000 in 2020. That's pretty low. And I'm also looking here. I'm looking at, this is from Indeed. I'm looking at like the most common jobs in America. And it says here that the number one most common job is being a cashier. And the average salary for a cashier is $29,000. I'm just thinking.
So the median household income for 2022, and this is according to Fred, which uses a whole bunch of data from the Census Bureau, anyways, is $75K basically. It's $74,580.
So it's like what? Two people earning like $37,000 a year or something like that.
37.5, yeah.
Damn, bro, am I an accountant? Anyways, yeah. I mean, that kind of matches kind of like with this. The point is like both people like as the median income, that's not good. To be honest. At the same time, if most people are working, it's livable. But I'm also saying like, if both people are working at as cashiers, I don't know how you think you're going to earn a lot of money being a cashier.
But even if what did you say that the median salary was for someone who's a cashier?
29,000.
Yeah, so you have two people making $60K a year. You're not living good by any means.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah,
you're not living good, but you're living.
You're living.
You're living. At least in this area, you're not living good. Again, if you're like maybe in somewhere with like lower housing costs, like you're in Texas or something. Not all of Texas, because Austin's getting crazy too. But if you go to like Houston, housing costs are pretty low. Chicago, housing costs are pretty low. You can find very reasonable rents. You're living. You're not living good. You're not living busted.
Well, I mean, and the thing is too is like when housing costs and where things get cheaper, you also get paid less. So they probably don't really feel it. But even still, I'm thinking like, brother.
I mean, you often feel that effect on like the effect is often seen in like jobs like yours. Not so much jobs like that. Like a lot of jobs around the country are paying like 15 an hour, bro. 15, 17 an hour.
But I'm just thinking, for one, you can get a better job than that. Like, I think the average person working as a cashier can do better.
Probably. It was interesting to me was like, what's more interesting was on the comments on our other video, and people were like, oh, well, two people shouldn't have to work to make a decent income. What do you think of that?
What do you mean have to, brother?
That was going to be my question.
I mean, I agree that it sucks.
That was going to be my question.
But have has nothing to do with it. Like, I'm okay with the logic that living sucks. Mm-hmm. Is he saying that he just wants it to be better?
No, I think like what's buried in that is something like
some Marxism.
Probably something like. I mean, I hate to sound like one of them.
It would sound like valuetainment right now.
But I mean Marxism.
Go into your spiel, bro.
I mean Marxism in the sense of like egalitarianism.
Yeah.
Which is like everyone should have what they need. Should have what they need. So that's probably where the kind of like a statement like that is coming from, which is why I thought it was interesting.
What are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts
on egalitarianism? Can't say that word right. Egalitarianism. I'm just saying terrorism.
What are my thoughts on egalitarianism?
Yes, that word. What are your thoughts on it? Let it spiel, bro. I want you to. I need Republican to say no. let him loose. Let's get the Trump fans in the thoughtful banter, bro.
Let me say this.
Let's sell out.
Let me say this.
We get Trump on the pod.
This is what I'll say.
Okay.
I think people have a gross misunderstanding of what capitalism is, because they look at the capitalism that's in America, that's practiced in America, and think that is capitalism and that there can be no other version of capitalism. That's not true, obviously, especially if you dig into like a lot of the academic resources. But there are versions of capitalism that have vast, humongous welfare states, for example. And there are versions of capitalism that have big welfare states and UBI, universal basic incomes. And there are versions of capitalism that just has a universal basic income. So all these kind of things are like possible in a market society. And they're still considered capitalism. It's just not, I guess, capital C American capitalism, which what people like to refer to as like corporations, all these corporations taking over and, basically having their way with their workers. That out of the way. I think the principle of egalitarianism, which is everyone is equal and thus everyone should have their needs like equally cared for, makes sense. And I understand it. I just don't think the best way to get to that is through what they're suggesting, which is like, well, I guess not every egalitarian is suggesting this. So let me be clear. Let me kind of make a distinction. There's egalitarians and there's like, I guess, socialists or Marxist egalitarians. And there can be like overlap between these things, but an egalitarian can also be a capitalist. It's not like you're not one if you're the other. It's not mutually exclusive. Anyways, it probably got way more technical than you wanted it to, but
yeah. Sorry, you reminded me of something when you said Marxist again. Made me think about Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson's tweet about Palestine.
Are you watching, Jordan? Are you watching, Jordan?
I hope you're watching, you buffoon. You weak. I'm no, but like on a serious note, and we'll get back to it, but I've said this before. Oh, damn it, they're back. There's like a band at the library, and I thought this was a quiet place.
Let's wrap up with like 10 minutes.
Bro, I'm low-key vibing it. But okay, 15 minutes. 20. Like, Jordan Peterson fell so far from grace. And this is so random, but like, Jordan Peterson was great when he was just talking about very general self-help and psychological advice. How to get your life together. I've said this before on the podcast before. Like, his early lectures literally got me through a depression.
A lot of his earlier stuff also didn't make that much sense, but yes, continue.
But like, it was vague enough. But
I agree.
Him becoming more and more popular and him being more and more comfortable saying with and being arrogant, because he would just start. He's like, oh, I'm popular, and he just starts diving into topics he has no business diving into, giving his opinions about stuff, giving a message to Sunnis and Shias of the world.
Well, he would be an example of someone who's anti-egalitarian, because his thing is like, well, people are different, which is true. So they don't all deserve the same thing.
I'm just triggered at his comment to Netanyahu saying give him all the Palestinians.
Well, it also kind of makes sense, because if people are different and people don't deserve the same things, then that also means that like some people are meant to be dominant or rulers over others.
But it's so hypocritical too,
right?
Because it's so hypocritical because it's also like so many of his lectures that I've listened to are about like the evils of the Holocaust. Well, depending on how you look at that, but like just the evils of the world in general. Like, Jordan Peterson, you fell off hard, bro.
But he's also talked about like all these stupid college students protesting on campus.
You'd be protesting when you should be getting your bed in order.
You should be making your bed.
You should be making your bed and growing a spine and working out, lifting weights, because it's a no small thing where you're able to lift the weight up.
So like I think that's been a pretty consistent thread throughout his like talks. If you go back now and like have something to look for, you can kind of see it.
It's disgusting. Whereas
again, this is not me. I hope no one. I was like looking for the camera over here. No, because we usually have two, right? Anyways, I hope no one takes this as me endorsing anything that he said. Just wanted to clarify that. I know you probably didn't. Probably giving me the benefit of the doubt, even if you thought I did. But I just wanted to say that as far as him, it seems like a pretty consistent message that he's allowed for himself.
Going to say it.
Egalitarianism?
Yes. Say
brother,
I'm not going to say it slowly, please.
Egalitarianism.
Egalitarianism.
Yes.
My thoughts on it are, if everyone already has their needs met, then why not make a society where everyone can almost like vibe? But we're so far from that. And
So-
this notion that this guy should just be able to make enough money and no one has to work, it's like, it's just ridiculous.
My
Oh, I'm sorry.
The end of my technical spiel was going to be
Okay.
that I don't think I think the best way to achieve egalitarianism is actually through markets, not through like any kind of central planning or anything else that could happen.
We might. I already know. For you to explain that next part, we'll take a different episode. So I'll just pivot and say, with the system we are in now, assuming you're not taking care of like a whole family at the moment, like I guess that's the thing, right? Like if you have so many responsibilities that you never have time to study, then you might not ever be able to make more money. But I don't see how someone who has time can be stuck at a job that pays them $30,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're in America. I don't know how else to say this. Like, we're in America. We have the internet. You have this phone that you can comment this on. You can't make content, bro. You can't sell something online. $30,000 a year. You think that's your peak limit? I just feel this capitalism going through my blood right now. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just very upsetting. But I'm also like, I'm not trying to be like a privileged dude. Like, oh, I make way more than that. It's easy. Like, I know it's rough for people. But I'm also like, brother, you're acting like I'm saying that, bro. Everyone, like, you know that one clip that guy clearly was just baiting for views. He's sitting down at a podcast. Bro, I'm sure you've seen this clip. He's sitting down. He's like, if you are a man in your 20s and you don't have the money for a Lamborghini, you need to seriously sit down and ask yourself, what am I doing with my life?
I've seen that. Yeah.
Like, you know, like, oh, this guy's trolling.
Yeah,
He's definitely trolling.
He's not serious. Yeah,
There's no way he's serious. Like, how much is a Lamborghini?
I don't know. I'm sure
It's
it
just-
differs too. Like it's not like a steady price.
It's a stupid amount of money. Like, just liquid. Maybe an entire Lamborghini is your salary. But my point is like, brother, there's options to make money. There's trades. Get into a trade. If you're a cashier right now, bro, just become a tradesman. Become a plumber right now, brother. Become a plumber. They will pay you as they teach you. They will pay you as you learn if you're becoming an electrician. Like, even being a carpenter is better than being a cashier. Brother, if you're being a cashier right now, you're literally saying, I want AI to take over my job in 5 years. It's already replaceable. They're just not doing it because they're going to have 30,000 people revolting. You understand, bro? I mean, I was a cashier. Like, I was literally there at the store I was working at, and then they put in these self-checkouts, and I was just there to assist people with self-checkouts.
Or make sure they weren't stealing or anything, yeah.
That's literally it. Because you
Yeah.
need a cashier to be like, oh, yes, this person isn't stealing 5 cents in bags. Yes, I approve. He said no bags, even though he weighed out like 10 pounds of items. Do you know how often, when I was a cashier, brother, do you know how often I just let people take stuff, take bags? I did not care, bro.
Me neither.
I'll give
bro.
people discounts. I'll see like a struggling mom, I'll give you this discount.
I don't, bro.
I
They had
don't
like a, They
care.
had like a whole, because I also had a cashier job, and we had like a whole training on like, what do they call it? They
Company
have,
ethics.
They have some like super fancy word for stealing. It's like, damn, I don't remember it. But we had like a whole session, and this dude was like quizzing me. He was like, okay, so you see this, you see a customer come with like a freaking cart full of clothes. What do you do? Are you gonna help them? Like, how should you approach this situation? And you see they're not scanning everything in their cart.
Yeah, I saw the training. Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at the dude. I'm like, brother, I think you think I care way more about the job than I actually do. And they were like, oh, you see someone scan a banana. No, you see someone scan a PS4, but the price is like for a banana. What do you do? And I'm like, bro, if you finesse that, bro, that's sleight of hand crazy.
I'm like, bro, get 2. I'm going to make sure he scanned 2 bananas. You know what I'm saying? Giving me a PS4. That's ridiculous. Like I don't know, bro. Like, I just, the capitalism, I'm so mixed. It just comes out of me because, like, on one hand, I think in many ways our society we need some more restrictions on capitalism. We are seeing many cases of people just being so greedy where the masses are suffering. At the same time, you need to want to better your situation, and you need to provide value to the economy.
Again, but even that's not a necessary feature of capitalism.
No, I understand.
That's like there's a Supreme Court case that basically ruled against Henry Ford, who wanted to give all of his employees raises, but basically the board was like, this is the shareholders. They were like, this is not in our interest. You can't do this. And they took it to court, like the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the shareholders. And so that's like, so basically an American corporation is doing everything for the shareholders at every single, it's like everything is for our shareholders, for the bottom line of our shareholders. But that's not something that's that's American, capital C capitalism, if you want to call it that. But that is not inherent to the concept,
to the philosophy,
to the concept
and
of
to
a market.
the religion of capitalism, if you would,
if you will.
So if capitalism is a religion, who's its prophet?
John. I just almost said John Adams. Not Adam Smith. There we go.
Adam Smith.
That's the father of capitalism.
That's your man, huh?
That's the granddaddy of capitalism.
That's your man, huh?
Not necessarily.
You're so clever. They'd be like, you want to get caught into like a philosophical hole. You're like, no, we still live like a snake den. Oh man, there's a lot more I want to talk about if I'm being honest. But I'm sure you want to wrap up.
Yeah, we're at 44 minutes. Let's wrap up. It started interestingly, but I think it ended nicely. I
think it's good. All right, guys. Before we head out, I just want to say a couple of things. The Patreon has 2 tiers. One tier where you just get your name, your pretty name written on the screen saying, thanks to the patrons, and your name's there. The second tier has a couple of benefits. The first one being content that we're not posting anywhere else. Usually written content by Hussein and I, so you can get in the minds of our craziness. Just in case you're interested in that, because I know a lot of you guys are nerds. Some of you guys are Mufi nerds. I've been seeing these comments on a YouTube channel that are like so high IQ. I literally like, bro, I didn't go to college. Like I'm having to like take out ChatGPT saying, translate this comment. And these people, and I'm like, bro, who said this? He's like, oh, it's my boy, bro. I'm like, bro, your boy is smart, bro. Yeah, I know we got like a lot of intellectuals. So if you guys like to see more intellectual ramblings, head over to our Patreon. And what else was I going to say? Oh, yes. We are also adding to our Patreon content early. So if you want to see content before it's on anywhere else, if you just can't wait for the next episode of Thoughtful Banter, go to go to patreon.com/thoughtful banter to check that out. Also, we are uploading twice a week now, so I think the schedule is going to be Mondays and Fridays. We're going to see how that works. It's definitely going to be twice a week, but depending on the time I need for editing, it might be like a Monday and a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? But Mondays and Fridays, let's aim for that. Let's commit now. Mondays and Fridays. We'll have videos out.
I think it's to be determined. The schedule to be determined.
TBD. Any words?
Nope. That was good. That was a nice little wrap up. Thank you guys for listening. We out.